Hey guys, what's another videos today with Dad? Hello, Dad.
Hello there.
So, Dad, tell us the news then.
Well, turned out to be a big week. Turned out to be a very expensive mistake for the Albion, Dan. Val's adventure come to an end. I'd like to wish him all the very best and the playing staff, but quite honestly, Dan, it just wasn't good enough. I mean, draws at places like Burnley and Blackpool, not even scoring. You know, some had to give. I mean, fair play to the board. They rolled the dice. They gambled. They give him a 4-year contract, and you know something, it backfired. Val's not the man for us. No. He may be great for lower teams, but unfortunately, not good for us. I've got to be honest, Daniel. You know what my mantra is for the moment? In Brucey, we trust. What do you say?
Yeah, I completely agree. Got to keep the faith. I feel like with Val, it probably was a good move, bringing in a young manager, hopefully bring us up then. You know, it's a project at the end of the day. With Bruce, I feel like now it's probably to the end of the season. And I feel like if we can try and push for the Prem, I don't think we will get there, but that's the plan. I think it'll be, is it 18-month contract, isn't it?
18-month contract, but I've got to be really, really open and honest with you. I don't want to get promotion this season. Shall I tell you why? No, because if we go back up, we'll go straight back down. I mean, I heard somebody say today, what's the first thing Steve Bruce should do as Albion manager? I'm going to be brutal, Dan. I'm not going to sit on the fence. You know what the first thing I think he should do? I think he should warn every player they're now playing for their futures. You know what? As a supporter, it's the prerequisite for each player needs to be when you put that shirt on, you play with pride, passion, and determination. It's pretty clear to me, and I ain't the brightest bloke in the world, that he didn't command the dressing room. He didn't have enough experience for the bigger players. And if I'm going to be probably a little bit cruel, I think it was too big a task for him. But one thing that Steve Bruce does bring, he commands a lot of respect for not only his achievements in his playing days, but also his managerial experience. Listen, Dan, you don't get to manage 1,000 games if you're no good.
No, I agree. When you look at it though, I feel like I said to you earlier with Val, he had 29 games with Albion, only got 45 points, but in the same time with Barnes, he got 55. What do you think the problem was there?
Well, I think it's a straightforward, simple football problem and probably an ego problem in as much as he had a 4-year contract. I think he thought he was going to be given the time that he needed. I think the bottom line is this: his football just didn't suit the Albion. It may, and I don't really mean to be disrespectful to Barnsley. The Barnsley players, right? They probably weren't that experienced, and they probably would have done anything Val asked.
Albion, Val, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, and Albion, you know what? Admittedly, they've seen off a load of managers, but I think the dressing room in the end thought, you know what, this ain't working. But statistics are all well and good. You know, really, I do agree with that. But he ain't Pep Guardiola. We haven't got a massive squad of players. The players that are there ain't the world's best, if you're going to be honest. We've got an aging midfield. It was a destined for disappointment. But you know what? You know what worries me the most, Dan? That someone like Val couldn't grasp the feeling of the supporters. It quite clearly wasn't working. I mean, our Nan could tell you who's going to come on at half time and who's not going to come on at half time.
It's the same subject we run it. I feel like when you look at Val,
I don't know what
the board's major reason for sacking him was the fact that he had lost that connection with the fans, and as soon as you lose connection with the fans, you know you're in trouble, don't you?
Yeah, to be frank, I don't think he ever had it. I think the most passionate I've seen Val was at Peterborough, and I thought to myself, wow, there's a manager that cares. Does he? I just don't know. Did he care? I'll tell you what really infuriated me, Dan, and I can feel myself going even now, is when we were at Millwall and he went straight down the bloody tunnel. Even the players, they were probably, I think, Jake Livermore and I forget, is it Colin Robinson came over?
Yeah.
But I mean, you know something? They get paid for that. We paid to watch that. Who are the mucks?
I know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna reinforce it. I'm gonna summarize it, Dan. In Stevie Bruce, we trust. I've got a little quiz question for you. I'm hoping it's 11th heaven for Steve Bruce and the Albion. You know why? It'll be his 11th club, and I think that I was really annoyed at the way he was treated by the Newcastle fans.
Completely agree.
They treated him appallingly.
Yeah.
And on account of that, I hope Newcastle go down. And I'll go one further, Dan. Sorry to butt in. is the Villa fans as well. They didn't treat him much better because his parents both passed away when he was at the Villa, and he got dogs abuse. So I'll tell you what, on that note, I think that the whole club needs some tender loving care. I think that the fans definitely need some tender loving care, and so do the Albion fans. So I think potentially it's a match made in heaven. And what a great way to prove the doubters wrong if Stevie Bruce can not only restore his own reputation and to that of our beloved club, West Bromwich Albion. So let's just hope Steve Bruce will take us back to the promised land. What do you think?
Yeah, I pretty agree. I feel like the fans need to get on board with how Bruce plays. I feel like his style of playing being the greatest. However, you start believing it. With Val, we believed in it, and then for some reason the performances weren't turning out as good as we expected, meaning that the performances weren't that good and the results weren't as good either. However, if you look at the stats as well, as of course Val was all about stats, over this amount of shots we've had minus 19 goals that we should have really scored. 19 goals. If they went in, then what amount of points would you say beyond now? At least 50. It just annoys me. But when you look at it, with Steve Bruce's manager record, I feel like, especially in the Championship, Hull fans backed him saying he's going to do a really good job. On the radio as well tonight, Dad Blues fans saying he's going to do a good job as well. There's one thing I'd say to the Albion fans right now about Bruce, what they're doing.
He can command experience. He's been there. He's done it. He's not only worn the T-shirt. You know what I like about Steve Bruce? He seems a genuine guy, and I think that getting that dressing room, and I hope that he'll tear him to bits because how can I put it? He must be a fighter to come back into a job where he knows he's going to be under pressure. It ain't the easiest thing in the world. The easiest thing for Steve Bruce to do would have been to sat on the bench. It's to sat on the beach because I know that he's going to be watching England at the cricket. So
that's
you know
something.
Yeah. So you know something. I think he'll bring experience. People have got nothing but to look up to him. The likes of bloody Jake Livermore. You've got even Sam Johnson, the Albion goalkeeper.
Matt Phillips's.
He's got more experience than that whole team come together. It's quite ironic that he's managed the Blues, he's managed the Villa. Perhaps he's saved the best till last done.
Maybe best in the Midlands would be a controversial opinion. However, in your opinion, Dad, what do you think's happened with this Ron Gourlay appointment?
I think it's a panic appointment, if you want my honest opinion. I don't know an awful lot about him, but one thing I do know, he was at Chelsea, and I think that it ended in a bit of disaster. I think it may well be...
Especially at Reading as well. Reading fans have been saying to me, apparently, that the point deduction they've been having from the financial fair play rules are all because of him giving people bumper contracts when they didn't really need to.
Well, that's the last thing we need. I mean, you got to, something. You got to be careful in football. And that old saying that be careful what you wish for. Because Jeremy Peace, all right, he was quite ruthless, but he steadied the ship and he made Albion a well-run club. The last thing we need is getting crazy contracts in. I just think that there's obviously some problems behind the scene. Yeah, I can't name you a footballing person behind the scene. It's interesting that. I mean, you'll know the type more than me. I don't think he's coming as a head coach. He's coming as a manager, which it'll give him. How can I put it? The keys to the castle to be involved in everything.
Yeah.
So I think they've got him for his overall football experience. Let's be honest. Football is a business now, so he'll run that. I just think that Ron Gourlay's appointment is a strange one. It's certainly not in the Albion tradition to do that. But I think we're at the stage now whereby we've got to back Brucey. We've got to back the owners. Will we get into the playoffs? I think we will. Will we win? I don't think we'll win. I think we'll get into the playoffs. But for once, I've got a bit of excitement.
So I've got a bit of optimism about this season now, have you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sick of going to away games or home games, watching the same old rubbish and thinking to myself, I'll give it 20 minutes and the other, what's his name? I forget our playmaker, Matty Phillips, he'll come off or he'll come on. So, you know something, let's give him a chance. But what I would do, I would stress to the players that, you know what, you're playing for your futures. Whatever's gone on in the past has happened in the past. It's now or never. And I'll tell you something, Dan. I'm not going to name names just yet, but I reckon there'll be 5 or 6 players who will be panicking.
Yeah, guys, make sure to put on the comments your opinion, Bruce signing. Dad, anything to say before we go?
Yep, my mantra is going to be, in Steve Bruce we trust. Oh, and listen, because we've got Andy Carroll.
Love it.
Andy
Guys,
Carroll.
thanks for support on the Mill and QPR vlog, especially on Preston. Make sure you put some stuff on the comments. Make sure you like, subscribe, and peace. See ya.
Come on, lads.